Ready? It's going to be loud.
In the greenhouse on the campus of Montclair State University is a unique, hand-built machine, the Ballast solution prototype. The ballast tank of a ship takes in water from the ocean to stabilize its buoyancy. This prototype, created by Passaic River Institute director Meiyin and her team, is designed to treat seawater before it's released back into the environment. The complex shape of the machine initially posed a challenge to Wu and her collaborators.
So we were thinking about it, and we were trying to play around with the design, and we got stuck. Because most of the mechanical design always have a certain area. For example, they will be doing a machine, and the machine is limited to a certain area. But now we're talking about a tube that could be very long. So I was thinking, why don't we just use DNA, the structure, the spiral structure, and that can overcome the problem of treating a long distance.
Let's just imagine this is a segment of water going through. So by the time it gets from this end to that end, all of the invasive organisms are killed.
I would say everything that is in the water would be killed.
It took a year for the Ballast solution to be designed and built. But Dr. Wu spent her entire life working towards making this ecological solution possible. Her commitment to the environment all started back in her home country of Taiwan.
So I grew up in the countryside, and our house has a river running at the backyard. And right behind the river are rice fields. The river is the water supply for the rice field. They use the water from the river to irrigate the whole field. I remember we spent a lot of time in the river doing nothing but just going through whatever is on the floor. Yeah, in the water, because the river is not that deep. So we just, catch whatever we could, and we'll be very proud of ourselves for catching clam, catching fish, and, doing that kind of kid thing. I do a lot of scuba diving when I was back at high school and college. And that certainly boosted my interest in studying the natural environment.
So where were you scuba diving?
Around Taiwan, because Taiwan is an island. And there are a lot of coral reef at Southern Part, because the Southern Part is a tropical area. But when you go down to 50 meters, you mainly are seeing fish. You're not seeing anything like coral reef related. Coral reef are at the shallow area. So I do a lot of scuba diving. And then one of the turning points was the experience that both from onshore and in the water, I do see how the underwater world change with impacts from human cause.
Did you feel like you wanted to do something about it?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, for example, they are cooling water for the nuclear power plant. Because the cooling water came out, they increased the temperature roughly about 4 degrees Celsius. And that 4 degrees Celsius increase is enough to kill the community right there. So that type of experience actually boosts my interest in finding any type of cure for the environment, or I say a better strategy to better manage the natural environment. For the master program, my advisor was the director of Washington State Water Resource Center. So we did a lot of study on lakes and rivers of the region. They are, of course, contaminant pollution sources along the river.
Some of the most common and widespread pollution comes from agricultural waste, such as fertilizer and cattle waste, as well as human interaction. However, Dr. Wu and her team were looking for a solution that would counteract invasive species, like the water chestnut, which appeared in Lake Champlain.
It flew on the top of the water, it covered the entire lake, and because of that, it killed whatever is underneath, because the sunlight and gas exchange were all blacked out. So we're looking for a way that we can kill the plant without disturbing whatever is underneath, like fish and insects. Most of the management strategy were limited to mechanical or manual pulling the plants out of the water, because Lake Champlain itself is drinking water source, and as well as for irrigation water. Of course, we don't want to put any chemical into the water. I team up with a physicist whose specialization is ultrasound. And we know that ultrasound is used in so many different applications. It can use, nowadays we use ultrasound to kill cancer cell. So we put our hands together and say, well, it can definitely penetrate the cell. So if you can kill cancer cell, you can probably also kill plants. Exactly. And it's also another very natural combination because sun wave travel in water. The way that it works is we identify one frequency that works the best to destroy biological media. So when water goes through the tube, each of the ultrasound probe will become active and emit the sound wave.
So those are the probes that's sticking in and coming out, and they're going in a spiral pattern.
That's right. And the part that you can see now is actually the transducer that emit ultrasound that's inside the tube right now. So you are not able to see that part. The key is to stop it from alive and be able to reproduce. So once they are killed, even though it's released to the natural environment, it will be dead material. It wouldn't be able to reproduce and develop
So it's organic
population.
material, but it's basically doesn't have any life
Exactly.
potential to it.
Exactly.
So it's really not pollution.
It's not
just occurs to
biological
me.
pollution.
It's not biological pollution.
That's right.
Through her ongoing research and through the outreach efforts of the Passaic River Institute, Dr. Meiyin Wu continues to seek ways to help protect our ecosystem, and the Ballast solution prototype is a visionary idea with tremendous potential.